So Trump, I guess he decided to have a little bit of an interview on something called the Squawk Box. Now, I've seen some clips of it, and it was really, really funny, so I wanted to look at it. I think that's really all there is to it. But what do we have here? President Trump, BLS data, it's antiquated and very political. So keep in mind, he fired a Bureau of Labor Statistics head because they reported on numbers that are accurate and true, saying that there are job numbers. The job numbers are going down. He got triggered about it and upset, and then, well, fired the head of the Bureau of fucking Labor Statistics who puts out those statistics. Because again, he's just a triggered little snowflake. A triggered little snowflake.
And now to the guests that we've been talking about all morning. President Donald Trump. Mr. President, welcome. Thanks for calling in. Wish you could be here in person, but we'll do this.
Good morning, Joe.
We've been talking about the BLS
Hello,
all
Donald
morning
Trump.
long. Sometimes I know you get a chance to tune in.
That's
I want to
me.
bring up a chart. I hope you can see it, or else I'll describe it to you. This is the response rate over the last 10, 12 years for the BLS household survey. It's dropped from 90% or so on time down to 60 and sometimes even lower. It's arguably the most important number we get about the economy. Yesterday, we had Wharton Professor Jeremy Siegel on. Just bear with me, Mr. President, and listen to this. I know you're familiar with Wharton, but unsolicited, this is what Jeremy Siegel said yesterday about the numbers.
I'm not going to let the BLS off the hook. I mean, you talk about how to fix it. Make these questionnaires mandatory and give them a time limit to fill it out. I think the response rate's down to 60%. I mean, that's unacceptable for the most important statistic that we have. It's almost like we're sending them out, fill it out when you can. We know you like to go to the beach in the summer, so it might be a little bit late. This is just not acceptable today. We need it. That response rate has to go up. And when you make the biggest mistake in 50 years, why? Why wasn't there an explanation?
It's 258,000 less in 2 months. That was the biggest revision since 1968, Mr. President. So we're in the internet age. We still can't get any instant data. We're still using snail mail to get the responses back. It is a government after all. Antiquated, no doubt, and certainly suboptimal, but rigged? Where do you get the notion that it's rigged? Or do you have any evidence there?
Well, I'm trying to understand exactly what do you mean it's like antiquated system? There's a reason why you have to try to use like mail for that, because again, like if you do it electronically, the data can fucking corrupt and you can just fucking lose that stuff. If let's say hypothetically speaking that the snail mail quote unquote gets tampered with, it's a lot easier to see if that got fucking tampered with in comparison to sort of like, sending it over like an email, which could easily get fucking hacked or intercepted by a man-in-the-middle attack. Like, that can fucking happen sometimes. And and there'd be a lot of problems with that data potentially being intercepted. That's a possibility as well. But then again, a lot of these like old dumbasses, they don't know about any of that stuff.
It is antiquated, but it's also very political. And, I had an election recently where I did very well, won every swing state, won the popular.
So again, he's just mad about a revision that happened that said that there was actually less than, or like 258,000 jobs that were created less than that. When in the first term, the BLS did a revision of about 500,000 jobs, and he didn't have a fucking problem with that. Again, it's just purely the fact that he's just triggered about getting numbers that he just doesn't like. And at the very least, there was more of an administration there who was willing to check him and make sure that he like stays in his lane and doesn't do any stupid shit about that. This time, there are none of those fucking guardrails, and it's nothing but fucking stooges that wants to make sure that the doddering old man in power doesn't get all upsetty fucking spaghetti and get triggered about the fact that a lot of his like belligerent economic policies with all the fucking tariffs, apparently there have been tariffs that have gone in now or something on the EU, the 50% tariffs on Brazil because of Jair Bolsonaro, and a bunch of the other fucking tariffs, the automotive tariffs on the EU, a bunch of the other general tariffs on the EU, Canada, and also I think the Japanese as well, and the Koreans. They've all been put in place, and it's just causing economic fucking instability. I think even Moody's has said that, yeah, I think there's probably going to be a recession that happens. It's very crazy. That's right. Yeah, that's right, Boy Meets Mini. 50% tariffs on India because they keep buying Russian oil. He's trying to, like, sanction the Russian oil that's going to fucking India, but in reality, that's just only going to hurt India. That's not going to work how you think it is, Trump. It's really fucking stupid.
Won everything, all right? Won all the counties. It's I think 87% of the counties were Republican up. That's never happened before. And yet I had to go through hell. And just days before the election.
Again, he's just going to tout the fact that he had success in the fucking election and just like not engage with the actual topic because again, doddering old man.
election, they put out numbers that it was like the country was on fire. It was doing so well. And then they did a revision about 2 weeks later, and the revision was down by almost 900,000 jobs. Do you remember that? And I said, man, I said, what would have happened?
What does he mean by the fucking the country was on fire? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? And like, what sense was the country on fire? Right? It's like the same stupid shit where he's just like, listen, it's the hottest country, we're the best, we're the greatest, we're so good, it's the hottest country ever, and it's just like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, no the fuck it's not. You're just again, doddering old man who barely understands. Like, it's so fucking stupid. Yeah, he is also still trying to talk about fucking BLM. I mean, it's just dumb. He's just a doddering old fool who's just, I don't know, mad about the fact that someone, an actual, like, bureaucrat working within the fucking goddamn government, reported on numbers that he didn't fucking like. That's all that it is.
What happened if I lost? Think of it. I would have said they gave phony numbers and then they revised them a week and a half later.
Those were benchmark numbers, though. But that happens. They do that. They do that twice a year, and it reconciles the monthly figures with like the overall numbers. And it was a big number. And obviously,
the numbers were rigged. The numbers were rigged. Biden wasn't doing well. He was doing poorly. They announced these phenomenal numbers 2 days before the election, and a little bit before that.
We're not even talking about the fucking election at this point. Again, he's just waffling. Like he's just mad. Like mad because like the economists. And by the way, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, if you put in a fucking stooge, those are highly fucking trusted numbers. I think even Republicans are pushing back on what Trump was doing, saying like, dog, this is a really fucking goddamn bad idea. Don't fucking fire these people because we need these numbers. You can't just put a stooge in to say like, whatever the fuck bumblefuck bullshit that makes your ego feel good. Like, you can't put a stooge in there because, again, businesses rely on those numbers. The banks rely on those fucking numbers. A ton of people in the, in the economy, not the economy, but in economics rely on those fucking numbers. Those have to be trustworthy fucking numbers because if they're non-trustworthy numbers, how the fuck do you know the direction of the fucking economy? You don't know. You're just going to fly in blind and a bunch of random bullshit. Like, again, for example, for all the times that Trump constantly complains about the Fed not lowering the fucking interest rates, if he just fires the head of the of BLS, do you think that Jerome Powell is going to want to lower the interest rates because of that? No. Why would he? Because it's just like, well, it's just like complete, utter, stupid, belligerent nonsense that's going on here. So I'm not going to fucking lower any of the rates or anything because of just how ridiculously unstable everything is at the moment. Like, that's not going to fucking happen.
Always these great numbers, and you knew it wasn't doing well. You knew prices were through the roof and inflation was there, but the whole thing was bad. But think of it. Then they did the biggest revision, I think, in history of almost 900,000 jobs, and it turned out to be more than that because later on they did another revision. And so they gave phony numbers in order to win the election. After I won the election, I said too big to rig. But after I
What do you fucking mean about like what does that mean? Why are you bringing up the election? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
won the election, then they announced a downward number, in other words, to bring them back to reality. And I said, wow, supposing I would have lost, I would have blamed that, and people would have said I was a conspiracy theorist. Crazy.
I mean, you are a fucking conspiracy. You're just saying like complete schizo fucking nonsense. Like, okay, people love the tariffs. I don't think so, buddy.
I just want to hear you clearly. You're saying that people who have been here for years and who have been even paying taxes, you're going to look at them very differently, and maybe they belong here in the workforce?
I want to work with them, and in some cases, we're sending them back to their country with a pass back in legally, and we're doing things that are very difficult to do and very complex, but it works really well. We're sending them back, and then they're schooling, they're learning, they're coming in legally. We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't.
Wait, so he's deporting a bunch of people so that they can learn how to come in, like, to do a civics test by deporting them first, and then he's gonna bring them back in for the. What the fuck is he talking? What are you fucking talking? Why do you have to deport them first? That seems like a lot of extra work for no fucking like, what does that mean? Also, didn't you just recently say that you're willing to give exemptions to the fucking farmers or some shit? Like, what what does this mean? What does it mean?
Let our farmers not have anybody, these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get...
What? He's just waffling. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, there's a bunch of people who have done agricultural work, so they do agricultural work because they're used to doing that fucking work. That's how that works? Okay.
Get a bad back. He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it? These are very, in many ways, they're very, very special people. Okay, go ahead.
No, okay, so here we go. So you did get the highest number of votes in Texas, so that's true. But when you're talking,
you don't have to say anything more, Joe.
I got to say this.
No, don't say anything more. Don't qualify if I said I got the highest number of votes.
You did.
In the history of Texas.
I'm moving on to your claim that revision helped Biden.
Wait, why don't you fucking keep going? Hello? What? Like, you're just gonna fucking capitulate, you fucking stooge? You're gonna capitulate to this fucking schizo, brain-leaking fucking freak who's just saying, like, complete, utter fucking nonsense? Man, I sure am a big fan of all these, like, not CNN, but CNBC fucking, business fucking losers who are just willing to capitulate to the rantings and ravings of this, doddering old man.
Hurt you for the 800,000. It was in August. There was still plenty of time for voters to see that those
after the election in November, I believe it was in November something. There was a massive revision downward on
the
jobs.
first one, the 800,000 or 900,000, I think, was in August, and then later it came out in March of 2025. It went to 598, not 818. But the original
well,
one.
Listen, 598. But there were other revisions downward from prior to the election because the numbers were rigged. Okay, and as you said, the number. Look, you take a look after the election. How many revisions downward there were? But let's get back to Texas because you said you were going to say something else. I got the highest vote in the history of Texas, a record that they say won't be beaten.
I'm gonna keep talking about the election because I was so successful in the election because I don't care. I'm just a doddering old stupid dipshit. Then I'm just gonna keep doddering and keep being stupid.
Like, bro, like, he's just crashing out. Like, it's crazy.
Unless I run again.
Are you going to run again?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
And you're not going to fire Jay Powell. We'll go all talk about all the stuff that...
Hey, Becky, I'd like to run. I have the best poll numbers I've ever had. You know why? Because people love the tariffs, and they love that countries, and they love that foreign countries aren't ripping us off.
Overall poll numbers.
I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Polling on the tariffs. What's the polling? Trump's tariffs are as unpopular as ever, but the GOP's tolerance is growing. Oh yeah, we know. Like, I've talked about this before, Fridge Makara. But basically there was like a Greg Palast documentary saying that up to, I think like about 2.6 million people were not able to vote for Kamala Harris in the fucking election. So, you know, that's cool. Gallup polling shows Trump's approval on foreign trade dropping from 42% in February to 36% in mid-July. Woof. Oh, I thought the tariffs were popular. Well, that's interesting. From mid-July shows 61% say Trump is too focused on tariffs, similar to April, but up from March. But also showed a new high in the percentage of people who say Trump isn't focused enough on lowering prices. 70%. This also ties to the tariffs because tariffs are often inflationary. That's true. But then again, don't tell Trump that. Because again, like, Trump, for like whatever reason, thinks this is like a game of civilization. Where it's just like, well, listen, if we do the tariffs, then we start instantly making money because it's like having a trade deal. That's how it works. It's like, that's not how that fucking works, though. Like, again, if you do a tariff on a fucking goddamn country and they send you a particular good that you fucking need for your companies to manufacture something or to put on the shelves to fucking sell, let's say hypothetically, the charge is going to come in on the items that are fucking, whoa, crazy, going to be the main fucking, that are going to be like the main things that get fucking taxed, right? The company has to pay that tax. Now, from what I understand, the companies have so far been taking the fucking tariffs on the chin, right? They've been taking them on the chin and not raising fucking prices to try to make Trump look good and like comply with this like stupid idiotic bullshit. And this has been leading to like, I think like record fucking profit losses for like a ton of different like US fucking corporations, and now they're starting to be forced to have to raise up the fucking prices because it's just like, dog, we can only do this for so long. We are a company, we have to make profit because that's just how the current system of economy works. So they're starting to raise prices in order to be able to make up for fucking lost profits, which is going to piss off Trump and not really fucking make it such that the tariffs are going to go away. Because he just has like this particular autistic fixation on the fucking 1880s and William McKinley because he thinks that tariffs equal money in the treasury of the US. It's like, dog, that's not how that fucking works. It's fucking delusional.
Friend and foe. And the
Overall
friend
poll
was
numbers,
worse.
Overall poll numbers, you don't have the best you ever had. In overall poll numbers, you do. I cited one of those.
I have the best poll numbers I've ever had. I have poll numbers where I'm 71%. I have the best poll numbers.
Those are among Republicans.
No. Among Republicans, I have 94 and 95%. No, I'm talking about generally. Let me put it this way. There was a gentleman on Harry Emden yesterday on CNN.
Harry Empton, I have 74. I'm doing so good in the polls.
But he's like not doing good at polls at all. Didn't Harry Empton literally just say, like, give a response to Trump about this, right? Like,
on Harry Empton,
bro, his brain is fucking leaking out of his ears. He's fucking crashing out. What is it? Larry Empton response to Trump poll claim. Didn't he say CNN data chief shuts down Trump's crazy stretch of his numbers? Well, what's he saying?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
And you're not gonna fire Jay Powell. We'll go all talk about all
I'd
this
like
stuff
to
with
trade
overall
what?
poll numbers.
No, this is the same stuff. I want to. What did Harry Enton say?
Harry Emden. I love Harry Emden.
Where's our boy? What did
Harry Emden say?
There we go.
Tonight, check CNN. That's a quote from President Trump, who also gave a shout out to a friend of the show while spinning his polling. Listen to this.
Overall poll numbers, you don't have the best you ever had in overall poll numbers. You do. I cited one of those.
I have the best poll numbers.
I believe Trump is currently polling at around high to mid 30s. Like, I think he's like at 36%, 37%. What is Trump's current approval rating? Like, what is it at right now? Trump's approval rating's still negative. He's like basically negative on every fucking issue. Like, it's really, really bad. You go issue by issue, he's negative in all of them. Even on immigration, he's negative on fucking immigration, which was the thing he was supposed to be the best on, quote unquote, but it's rather fucking terrible. I just want his approval rating. Approval rating on the issues. Southern border, approve, disapprove. Deporting illegal migrants, 49%. He's underwater there. Tariffs, underwater there. Inflation, cost of living, underwater there. Apparently, the only thing he's above water, and that is barely above water on, is the southern border. Whatever the fuck that means. So, like, he is doing terribly in terms of the fucking issues. But, you know, what do we have here with
Harry Emden?
I've ever had.
Among
I have poll numbers where I'm 71%. I have the best poll numbers. Look,
those are among Republicans. You
no,
know you've got...
No. Among Republicans, I'm at 94 and 95%. No, I'm talking about generally. I have the. Let me put it this way: there was a gentleman on Harry Emden yesterday on CNN,
Harry Emden.
and he went crazy over how well Trump was doing. Now, you know, you don't NBC numbers, but that's okay.
He could have given me a New York one. First, you know, I am thinking of going down to the courthouse in New York when I get back to change my name. That was what some of my friends suggested. I also think it could have been that he...
All right, I'll give this to CNN. This is fucking funny. They're calling him Harry Emden in the fucking Chiron. Okay, I'll give you that one, CNN. That's pretty good.
Could have given me a nickname, right? I could have been Low Energy Harry. But there are good things about this. It gave me an excuse to contact my mother, which I don't do quite nearly enough. And you know what? He recognizes, the President of the United States, that we give him a fair shake on CNN, whether it be Newsnight here or CNC News Central from 7 to 10 a.m. I'm usually on in the 8 o'clock hour.
Which is why if we did give you a nickname, Harry, it would be Sweet Cheeks. We appreciate the plug there for the morning show.
Thank you.
Listen, was the president correct about the polling, though?
So stupid.
No, I don't think the president was correct. You know, I give him a fair shake. I don't give him a positive spin. Look, he is not at the highest point he's ever been. Take a look at his net approval rating, where it is right now. It's negative. He's underwater, right? You compare that to where he was at the beginning of this term. He was 6 points above.
Well, this seems pretty clear here by Harry Emden. Yeah, minus 9 points. Woof.
Water. Now he's 9 points below water. If we are comparing him to other presidents at this point in their presidencies, he is the second lowest on record compared only to himself, who does worse. If we're comparing him to other second terms, he's certainly in the bottom of the list, not nearly all the way at the bottom. Richard Nixon was at a worse position at this point. But when you're comparing yourself to Richard Nixon and you're saying that you're doing better than Richard Nixon in your second term, that's not exactly a
great
position to be.
That's not great. So, yeah, cope, seethe, bald, stay mad.
Not Harry Emden.
I don't know, like, brain leak out of ears, just gonna say, like, try to say anything. I don't know. I'm still going ahead with brain leaking out of ear theory.
And he went crazy over how well Trump was doing. Now, you know, you don't put that on because I think CBS is a shade. Actually, CNN's a shade better than NBC. I think NBC is probably the worst of them all. But if you check CNN tomorrow, watch Harry Emden, and you'll see about the numbers. But that's okay. We have to defend ourselves. Yeah.
But there are other...
Harry Emden.
Your haters cite polls that have you down in the 30s, Mr. President.
Yeah, but you have fake polls, yo. I had a lot of fake polls. You also have me in the 70s. I have fake polls. Fox gives me terrible polls all the time. You know, they do nothing but they...
I thought he said fake polls, yo. I'm not gonna lie.
a good poll with Fox, and then I win an election and I go through the roof. Because look, I won every swing state, did I not? I won every swing state. Andrew, I won the popular vote by millions of votes, even though they tried like hell to cheat. I won by millions of votes. I won the counties.
He's just lying. I think he barely won the fucking popular vote, and even then, I think the percentage didn't even hit 50% of the fucking voting electorate. He just, again, squeaked through via the fucking electoral college. Guys, it's almost as if there's a bit of a problem with the fucking electoral college.
And all of the counties, I won 2,750 to 502. And I won the election in a landslide. And obviously, that's only, we're only 6 months in. But my poll numbers are better now, much better than during the election. And part of that is because the Democrat Party is self-destructing. I mean, when you have low IQ people like Crockett, I wonder if she's in a relationship to the late, great Davy Crockett, who was a great gentleman. I wonder if she's got any relationship to Davy Crockett.
What? Dude, he's spiraling, man. He's just crashing out. It's...
Low IQ, Jasmine Crockett.
Like, the only reason why he's calling Jasmine Crockett low IQ is because she's, well, black and a woman, so, a little bit of fucking racism there. He's just spiraling. It's a crash out, dude.
The great old Davy Crockett. But you have this woman Crockett. She's a very low IQ person. Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding. The Democrats are lost. They have Trump derangement syndrome so bad that they can't walk. They can't talk. They don't know where they're going. Schumer is finished. Schumer, look, I watched him the other day. He's lost all of his confidence.
40% of the country has, so you're never going to get above 60 in any poll. And it's because 40% have TDS, and we know that. This president, we used to do this every Tuesday. It was called Trump Tuesday. Maybe we can start, this is going to be the start of something again, but we appreciate all your time today and hope to be able to continue this discussion on all these different issues in the not too distant future, if we could.
Joe, could I finish one thing?
Yes.
1 year ago, our country was dead. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, and that was told.
Hottest country of the world. Literally every economic indicator is pointing that the U.S. is going to fucking recession. The rollback of fucking civil liberties. Everyone is up in arms over fucking ICE Gestapo freaks constantly detaining people. Yeah, hot like a dumpster fire. Like that's a way of like describing something as hot. That's a good point, Boy Meets Mini. Yeah, dude. Like the hottest country in the world, and it's just like a complete, just rank fucking shit show. It's nonsense.
To me by every leader of NATO, which they do whatever I want. That was told to me by the King of Saudi Arabia, by the leaders of UAE, by the leader of Qatar, by many. We were a dead country 1 year ago. Today we're the hottest country anywhere in the world, and I'm
We're so hot.
very happy to help.
Very happy. This is complete fucking nonsense. What we got here? Banks discriminated against me after I was president. Oh, are we getting like a little bit of a Kanye West post here from Trump? Let's see.
Like you were going to have a meeting and people were talking about it with President Xi, and then you went out of your way to kind of say other people are saying, I think you called it fake news or something. It looked like you were indicating that you were unhappy or the talks had broken down, and we've had a couple of frameworks or some positive moves. And China, you've had a lot of success with other countries. China is a big deal and not quite the elephant in the room, but certainly an important trading partner. Where does that stand? Will there be a meeting between you and President Xi? Anything?
So from what I understand with what's going on is, first off, when Trump did Liberation Day and he did like, I don't know, it was like almost 200% fucking tariff on China. China was saying, like, we're not going to negotiate with you until you drop the fucking tariffs. Trump drops the tariffs. They start to negotiate, and the negotiations don't really go anywhere. There wasn't any, like, really any reconcilable position. They just agreed, like, okay, the U.S. is going to have this current tariff rate, and then China's going to have, like, this sort of, like, reciprocal tariff rate. And then who the fuck knows exactly what's going on now for the time being? Like, there hasn't been much movement from what I understand in terms of trade negotiations with China. So I think like the U.S. is about like a 15% tariff on Chinese goods, and the Chinese are like also on a fucking 15% tariff. Like that's what it's currently at the moment. It's fucking weird.
Planned at this point? What's the sticking point now, and how optimistic are you that we get a comprehensive
Well, I can have a meeting. We have a very good relationship, but I didn't call for the meeting. He called for the meeting. So the fake news announced Donald Trump wants a meeting with China. No, I didn't want it. No, he asked for a meeting, and I'll end up having a meeting before the end of the year, most likely, if we make a deal. If we don't make a deal, I'm not going to have a meeting. I mean, what's the purpose of meeting if we're not going to make a deal? But we're getting very close to a deal. We're getting along with China very well. I will tell you, you had a point when I had 145% tariffs on. I put in for fentanyl. I actually said to people, where are we now with China, by the way? Because I kept adding more and more. They said, sir, you're up to 145%. I said, you got to be kidding. So I sort of tricked that a little bit. When it was up to 145%, meaning we were doing zero business with China, China was collapsing. I don't know if you know that. You haven't reported it if you do. But China was collapsing. China is very reliant on the United States.
Yeah, there's no evidence at all to suggest that the Chinese economy was fucking collapsing. He's just lying here. It's nonsense.
States. My relationship with him is very good. I think we'll make a good deal. It's not imperative, but I think we're going to make a good deal. But no, they had a thing that Donald Trump really wanted to go there. No, I don't. It's a 19-hour flight. It's a long flight. But at some point in the not-too-distant future, I will. And just to end this conversation, I have a very good relationship with President Xi. Always had, other than the COVID moment where I was very angry with him and essentially didn't want to talk to him, frankly, because, it did come out of Wuhan, in all fairness, which I was saying from day one. I was saying I knew exactly where it came from. But that did interfere with the relationship. But
isn't there like some evidence to say that like now it didn't come out of fucking Wuhan and that's like a complete fucking shit show? I still do think it came out of fucking Wuhan, COVID-19. And like what? Again, we know how the fucking pandemic started. Like he would say that it was on purpose by the fucking Chinese when that's just not the fucking case. But whatever. A lot of his apparatchiks would say it was done on purpose by the Chinese, which is a fucking conspiracy theory. But whatever, dude.
But no, I've had a great relationship with President Xi. We respect him a lot. They respect us a lot. They didn't respect Biden. They thought he was a numbskull. They couldn't believe he was the president of the United States, and neither can anyone else let that happen.
Mr. President, on a different topic, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that you're prepping an order that they say would punish banks that discriminate against conservatives, including potentially Bank of America. I'm going to be actually talking to Brian Moynihan here later today. Can you tell us about that executive order? What's in that, and what do you think the banks have done?
Well, they did.
Dude, it's Kanye West. Dude, it's the helper for Kanye West. Listen, for all these motherfuckers who constantly decry fucking DEI, it's time for the banks to show DEI to fucking conservatives, for fuck's sake. Listen, when I say that conservatives, they believe in nothing and they're just like complete rank fucking hypocrites with zero fucking belief system that they operate off of, this is what I mean. Like,
we're gonna have DEI, but only for conservatives and white people.
I had J.P. Morgan Chase. I had hundreds of millions of dollars in cash. I could see if they want to, if they want to do something bad because you don't have any money and you defaulted and they took people out. But I'll give you me as an example. I had hundreds of millions. I had many accounts loaded up with cash. I was loaded up with cash, and they told me, "I'm sorry, sir, we can't have you. You have 20 days to get out." I said, "You got to be kidding! I've been with you for 35, 40 years." They said, and I mean, I had all this. I didn't know what to do with it, and I went to, and you could ask him. Maybe he's not going to admit it. So I said, I was informed by my people that we have to get out of Chase Manhattan. That's Jamie and J.P. Morgan Chase. So I said, I can't believe it. Well, I was never in this situation before. I've never had anything like it, and it's not like, gee, you defaulted on a loan. Geez, I understand.
I don't understand. Like, what the fuck? Like, he had millions of dollars of cash. Like, what the fuck is he talking about with this claim on the? Like, again, this is what I mean. He's just crashing out. Like, what the fuck is he talking about here? Like, you had a bunch of fucking legal fees that you need to sort of like pay for. I mean, he did his like fucking crypto scam stuff, and he made billions of dollars off of that. So I mean, there's that. But like, what is he fucking talking about here?
And that's different. But there's no default. I mean, there's nothing but cash. I have a really great company. And then what happens is I call a Bank of America routinely because when I was president, this was after I got out, by the way, I call a Bank of America routinely, and I speak to him, and I speak to a couple of people, and they have zero interest. Brian was kissing my ass when I was president, and when I called him after I was president to deposit $1 billion plus and a lot of other things, more importantly to open accounts, which banks always like. They like accounts because they get interest free.
Is he just like admitting to using his like name as president in order to fucking benefit? Because again, he didn't put any of his assets in a blind trust, which is against the law. Quite unironically, he didn't put any of his assets in a blind trust and was still allowed to just make money off of the fact that he was the president of the fucking United States. Listen, again, like I've said before, for Donald Trump at this point, it's either like it's for securing a legacy for himself and also just make as much fucking money as possible because he's just a greedy dumb fuck billionaire.
The overnights and things, a lot of reasons for it, but they like accounts. I had hundreds of accounts, and he said, we can't do it. No, we can't do it. So I went to another one. I ended up going to small banks all over the place. I mean, I was putting 10 million here, 10 million there, did 5 million, 10 million, 12 million. I have them all over the place, the craziest thing. And it's lucky I even had them. They were doing me a favor.
Isn't that a fucking crime? Like, isn't that like highly, not a crime maybe, but like that's like extremely fucking suspicious behavior that you hear about on like every fucking like corporate video talking about like, so here is a potential for very suspicious financial behavior if you have like hundreds of different fucking accounts with very small amounts, various small amounts. I mean, I guess a couple million is not like small, but like, you know what I mean, in the grand scale of like several billions of fucking dollars, like it's very fucking weird. It's just like, why are you putting in a bunch of like millions, like tens of millions of dollars into like a thousands of fucking different accounts? That's a little fucking weird.
And that's because the banks discriminated against me very badly. And I was very good to the banks. I had the greatest economy in the history of our country when I was president. And by the way, our economy now will blow that away. And you see it happening. But our economy now, because we're a rich country, because of our...
He's just lying, by the way. Again, like, the only reason why he says he had the greatest economy is because he was riding off the coattails of the Obama economy.
trade deals, we'd become a rich country again. But no, they totally discriminate against.
We're so rich now.
Maybe even more, but they discriminate against many conservatives. You know, I told that story and sitting around tables with other people that were conservative or Trump supporters. I think the word might be Trump supporters more than conservative. And I believe what they did is they went to the regulators. You know, banks are not afraid of anything but a regulator. They're regulators and their wives. They're more afraid of their wives than the regulators. But the group they're really afraid of is bank regulators. And I believe that Biden or Kamala, and I don't think they're smart enough to do it, but the people that are surrounding the beautiful Resolute desk, you know, the high IQ people that are radical left, I believe they told the banking commission, the bankers, that the banking regulators do everything you can to destroy Trump. And that's what they.
Okay, like, just rank Crashout. I don't know, like, what else is really to say here besides, yeah, he went on Squawk Box in order to just talk about his grievances and just crash out. Again, he just lied about everything, you know? Tariffs, nobody likes him on tariffs. A lot of the other fucking polling numbers that he has, his approval rating is tanking. On every fucking issue, his approval rating is fucking tanking. He's not doing well in the polls right now. I think he's just really, really upset about the fact that, you know, his approval numbers are hitting the shitter, that his that his economy is fucking bad. Nobody likes the fucking tariffs. Everybody hates the stuff that's going on with the ICE Gestapo freaks. So I guess now he feels like he has to do like a media circuit to try to like stem the bleeding and just, I don't know, just crash out over the fucking news on television over it. Like, I don't know. Like what else is to really say here? He's just lying all the time, and I think he's just like crashing the fuck out on Squawk Box, which is really, really funny that he's just crashing out and calling Harry Emden. Yeah, I don't know. Just a fucking crash out here by Donald Trump. Don't think there's really much else to say besides old man crash out.